Hello. Mwah.
Mwah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mickey and my
Eh,
wife Pam, and we are just going to blab about nothing, maybe. But
no,
we're going to hang out the way we like hanging out.
yeah. Have you seen any of the videos about people dating and they talk about high value men?
No.
Oh, you
People
haven't.
dating?
Yes, because
Ugh.
no, but women, young women who are, say, 25 with three children wanting to date high level men. Mm,
So for some,
does that make sense? Are
I don't judge things like that. I have no involvement in it. I don't think I need this. I know what I'm saying, but I do like it when you wear it, so you have that.
yeah. Well, um, they they talk about there's like women tend to want high value men.
Women want to what?
They want high value men.
Well, like guys want high value girls.
What is a high value girl?
You tell me what a high value man is. And it's the same thing. It's a world of equality.
Do you think so? Do you think most guys that you know who are married, do they have high value women? And what if
I can't say that because I don't know them.
no, but you know,
Most guys that that I know that are married have very nice wives.
yes they do. I
Every
think
guy I
so.
know, yeah. Yeah.
But what are the qualities that make a good woman? Like say for instance me.
Hmm.
If we take me,
Well, you're very nice and you're very sweet. You're very cute.
yes, but when we got married I was 35.
Yeah. 34, I thought. I was 42. Yeah,
Now
that's right.
no.
You were 34 because it was before September.
Yes, exactly. I was 34 and you were 42.
Yeah.
So,
We were both working a number of years.
mhm.
We were both very nice.
Mhm.
We both had cars. That was
Well,
the
well, yeah, but at some point I smashed mine up.
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You had one that had 400,000 kilometers on it,
Yes.
and it died in the driveway, and I had to take it
No,
back.
but what
Oh, I
about the
remember.
accident coming down off the mountain?
I remember that one.
That was scary.
Yeah, you jumped out the window of the car, and somebody from the fire department saw it happen.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, they pulled me out the window of the car.
Did they? Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
jumped out the window.
No, because you have the
You
mountain.
never told me that. You told me
No,
you got out of the car. You didn't.
well, maybe,
I figured you just jumped out the window.
yeah, but it was such a long time ago. But I remember being coming down the mountain and that we're stopped at the
Yeah.
top there, like not at the super top, but it's almost, but there was
Yes.
a steep, and
The steep part right at the
I
by
was
St.
stopped at the
Joseph's.
stoplight, and
Car started rolling.
yes, and it was so scary.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
I was frightened. I was very, very frightened.
And you had this look. You wouldn't believe what happened to me.
I did not have that look.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You phoned me, and then you told me you're in the hospital, but you're okay, and there was nothing wrong. And you had this look. You wouldn't believe what happened to me.
I know, but I mean, but the car kept moving.
Yeah,
It started moving. We were going down that hill and it was moving and it kept going and going. And I'm thinking, Oh my gosh. How do I stop the car? The brakes don't work. It's picking up memento. That is scary.
And you put your emergency brake on, and it didn't help, did it?
No. And then I tried to kill the transmission, but I wasn't sure what happens when you try to do that because then I tried to kill the transmission and it made this really
Yeah, you
horrible.
would have killed the transmission doing that, and the car would have stopped. Probably the wheels would have probably stopped turning, and the car would have kept skidding.
Oh, it could have flipped over.
No, I don't think you'd be going fast enough to do
Yeah,
that.
but I was picking up momentum and I was in a downhill.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it was scary. It was scary.
Yeah,
I just know that like the one there's a main road that had 4 lanes going that way. And if I made it through that set, there was another set of 4 lanes going that way.
yeah. First Main Street and King Street.
And I thought, oh my gosh, if I make it to one and I get through one, that I'm for sure dead at the next one. I could have been double dead.
Yeah,
But you know what I
but yeah,
did?
what?
I
You,
put it, I put
that's
it into
right.
a building, and I
That's
was,
right. And there are still marks on the building's wall where you did it. But I
yes.
wish you'd put it in the building beside it. That one, the Love Shack. And could you imagine
No, that
all the
was,
things would have fallen on top of your car?
yeah, but that wasn't there.
Wasn't it?
That was in a plaza
I thought that, okay, well, I can still picture the building you hit it in.
because it's like John Street by the Cat and the Fiddle
Yeah,
pub.
yeah,
It was just like a garage with a window, and I put it up at the side because I didn't want to hit the window because if I hit the window, that's glass.
yeah.
I could have had shards coming through at me. That would not have been fun.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah,
That was frightening though. You know, that was very
yeah,
scary.
yeah, I imagine it would be. We were just coming back from line dancing. Line dancing, everybody. At what was the name of the club on the mountain? The Plantation.
the the plantation, which is no longer there, it is now a funeral home.
A what?
It is now a funeral home.
Oh, well,
It is a funeral home.
I didn't know that.
That's where the plantation is now the funeral home. Bay Gardens funeral home
Is it?
up on the mountain.
Oh, there's a lot of
Yeah.
deadbeats in there at one time, and maybe someone went through again.
No, no. Like that was no,
That was an okay club.
that was an okay place. But that was very frightening.
Mm.
I wouldn't want to experience that again.
No, no, I wouldn't want you to either. Remember when I was at the hospital then, and they said, "Oh, you're perfectly fine," and somehow a policeman was sitting beside me, and he asked what happened, and I says, "Well," and we explained it to him. He says, "Well, I don't think either of you should be driving tonight after you
Why?
get home."
What was that was the same night?
Yes. We explained to the policeman what happened with the car. He had nothing to do with the case. He was
Oh.
just we were just having a conversation.
Oh, okay.
And he says, "Well, I recommend that you go home, drive home, and stay home tonight for the sake of your own."
Oh, because I went to the hospital.
Yes, yes, you went and got checked up.
Yes, and my car had to be towed away
Yeah,
because my car was basically written off.
yeah,
That is not impressive.
yeah,
That is not good. Don't like that. Yeah. And yeah. So what made me stand out from other girls? I know. I was young and quite a few pounds lighter.
maybe in one spot.
No.
You still were top heavy and bottom heavy and skinny, and your big hair.
Yeah, but that was
At one point, you had big hair, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But that was the
and high heels.
I wore high heels all the time.
Hmm.
It's very
They look good, but now you complain about your feet.
yeah, but that's what happens when we get older. You
We're
know,
not older. We've just been around longer.
okay. So when you've been around longer, how how old is the longer?
Yeah, well, if you're still talking about your mortgages, then you're old.
What do you mean?
No, I mean, if you're not talking about fun stuff, then you're old. If you're complaining, you're old. You're if you're happy, you're still young.
Yes, but people complain about everything.
Well, there's a lot to complain about, but we just focus on stuff that's fun and take care of what we're complaining about.
Yeah. So what do you think were your top highlights of 2022?
Well, going into retirement, one, uh, going to St. Kitts,
Hmm.
yeah, going to Toronto with you and hanging out on that funny sailboat.
Yes, that was fun. I would put, St. Kitts and the sailboat. Um,
We went to the Steam Museum.
oh yes, we did. That was
Yeah,
quite exciting.
we drove up to the Tower of Babel.
No,
Babble. What do you? Well, I don't even know the proper name of that place.
which is
The Tower of Babel that I always laugh at Stony Creek.
Stony Creek Battlefield.
Yeah, that big tower.
Yeah, but we didn't go in it.
No, we went outside.
Yeah. Well,
That was cool.
maybe this summer we need to go inside.
That would be
We haven't
interesting.
done that in years, so I
Yeah,
think that would be a very good thing to do.
yeah. And our walk up the radial trail
Hmm. And
to the place where they have that reservoir. They've expanded the reservoir. Yeah,
oh, really?
yeah.
Wonder why.
Well, maybe they needed more water.
No, but it makes me curious.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they expanded the reservoir because they had a lot of construction there, and they cut off the parking lot at Iroquois Heights to put the expansion equipment in.
okay, we need to go and investigate
Yeah,
this. Definitely.
and they also put a 2-hour limit on the parking lot at Iroquois Heights.
Mm.
2 hour,
So we don't park there.
but the parking lot at the baseball park going up that road is 4 hours.
Okay, but we'll still park somewhere else. And
No, we'll park the closest place because we'll have 4 hours. Every other,
no,
a lot of those other parking lot
no,
parking.
because we never went to that spot.
No, we didn't, did we? We parked at the clubhouse,
Yeah,
the golf clubhouse.
thanks for giving away our parking spot.
A lot of people park there already.
I know, but now you want more people to park there.
I doubt they'll be camped out to meet us.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, if you got a good parking space, you don't really want to
Yeah, that's
broadcast it
true.
to everybody. And then
Yeah,
you wonder why you have to park at a far distance.
yeah, especially during the day.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, we got to go and investigate that. But no, those are my main highlights would be the
Yeah, what
same.
about the Feldcoat Museum?
Oh, I forgot about that. A-
Yeah,
And we got a book. We bought a book.
got a book about cemeteries at the Feldcoat Museum. About wonder
It,
where I put that book. I know I put it away nicely, but
it was about cemeteries, but there was also one about murders. Was it murders? No, people
I don't
who were
remember.
hung. It was some kind of morbid thing.
There's a Hangings in Ancaster, I think.
It was quite morbid, but it was still kind of interesting
It was entertaining.
because it had to do a lot with the history of the area,
Yeah,
and we always liked that. And we went
yeah.
discovering a bunch of cemeteries.
That was interesting. That was interesting. Especially the cemeteries in St. Kitts,
That was
where if you walk around the graves, you sink into the ground by about a foot to a foot and a half.
not the
Well, okay,
was it?
you sink about 9 inches.
Yes,
Just enough for the grass, and the grass is
it was
very
very
pointy.
squishy,
Yes,
very squishy.
it looked like they were coming out. It really did.
I didn't want to step on there. I watched you squish down.
Yeah, you watched me
You're
walk towards the
walk
grave,
and
and
you're like, "Zoop,
you
zoop."
told me to stop. You'll take my picture. I stopped and I started sinking while I was standing there.
Yes. And those graves were really old. They were from some of them were from the 1700s,
Yeah,
which is that's
it's amazing, you know. You know how many dead people were buried in the cemetery? All of them.
Oh, what else would they bury?
Where else?
I said, who else would they bury except people who have
I don't
passed
know,
away?
but see, many years ago, they used to have, and I think this is in England, they use the expression saved by the bell. It had nothing to do with schools because so many people were buried prematurely that they would have a hole in the coffin that went to the ground that had a string and went to a bell. And the person would, if the person was alive in the grave, they would ring the bell because they had to move a few graves. And they noticed the inside of the grave had the cloth ripped and scratched on the lid, and the person's hands were scraped into it. So many people were buried alive that they had to actually put the bells up for a while.
Oh, wow. So this is in
I
England,
think it's England because that's where the expression saved by the bell came from.
going back to what, Jack the Ripper times or
Yeah,
1800s, 1700s?
around that.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
I think I
Oh,
need to.
speaking of Jack the Ripper, oh wow, we should have had that video of Jack the Ripper, Screaming Lord Such, the singer, and the song Jack the Ripper. It was a sort of rockabilly song.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's from 1961, and you can tell where Alice Cooper and Marilyn Manson got their idea for makeup because Screaming Lord Such
Mm-hmm.
had a top hat, his face painted white with black eyes, like Alice Cooper or Marilyn Manson, and the song was called Jack the Ripper in the video. And they were all 1960s girls, like with beehive haircuts and stuff. And while he was performing, go, ah, they'd all start screaming at him. Screaming Lord Such. He ran for Parliament a few times, didn't win
Parliament where?
in England,
Oh, okay.
and he had a vast political history. But I think he never won any seats or anything. He just kept running for his own publicity.
Oh, wow.
And he went from being a sort of a rockabilly to a hard rock singer. And he passed away just a few years ago. But he was continuously playing,
Mm-hmm.
and he was screaming Lord Such. I think he might have even had some help from members of Led Zeppelin too at one point.
Oh, really?
Yes, because he was so funny.
Oh, wow.
But
How did you ever hear of this
somebody
person?
told me that they had a tape of screaming Lord Such, and they says there's a bunch of rejected Led Zeppelin songs, and he had nothing to really to do with that music, but they let him have them, and so he just sang words on top of the songs, and I can see why Zeppelin rejected them
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't great, but I can see why he took them because Zeppelin was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he was great, but I don't think that they were that good. But he had some great material. And when you look up the video
Mm-hmm.
for Screaming Lord Such doing Jack the Ripper live, and you look in the background as to who else is playing in the club, there's a poster and it says Long John Baldry live.
Oh wow.
And Long John lived in Dundas in his final years in a
Mhm.
mansion, and then moved to Vancouver where he passed away.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I know we had quite a few Canadian bands that came up through the 60s and the 70s.
Mhm.
Do you remember, what was it, the Cowsills?
The Cowsills. I met Billy Cowsill. It was at Ozzy Rexach's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy Rexach was Long John Baldry's boyfriend.
Is that common knowledge?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was between all of us.
I know, but
And
for
we hung
the
out with the guy, so he was a nice guy.
okay.
Very nice guy. I ended up at Ozzy's birthday party at Long John Baldry's place in Vancouver, but John wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Cowsill was there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends says, "Look at this weird guy." And Ozzy walks up to me and says, "I want you to meet somebody." And I says, "Who is it?" He says, "Billy Cowsill."
Mm-hmm.
And my eyes bulged because 2 weeks earlier I bought the 45. The 45 was called Indian Lake,
Mm-hmm.
and the song was called Indian Lake, and I loved the fucking song. I love the song, and I looked at him and I go, "You're the guy that sang Indian Lake. I
Mm-hmm.
just bought that 45 2 weeks ago." I shook hands with the guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sang it together.
Oh.
He played guitar, and Billy Cowsill. If you look up the video, Billy Cowsill, no, the Cowsill's hair. He is the guy at the beginning of the video that if you want to figure out where Doctor from Doctor and the Medics got the whole look, the exact outfit and hair idea is Billy Cowsill sitting at the front.
Oh
He's
wow.
the guy that sings the line. He asked me why. And he goes, "Why? I'm a hairy guy." And when he sings that, that's Billy Cowsill. He was great. The Cowsills were great. Hair, Indian Lake. I don't remember the other songs, but there's a few good ones that he did. But the song Hair, which was the theme for the rock opera Hair, was
Y-
sung by Billy Cowsill on that record, and it was the whole Cowsill family singing it. The mother acting as the mother, and the other kids doing background vocals.
the Cowsills were from,
Canada somewhere.
I didn't know. I knew they were Canadian, but I just didn't know where in
I
Canada.
don't know where, but and then Billy Cowsill asked if he could join the Forgotten Rebels for one song, and we were playing at I think some big hall in Vancouver, and we did that Stones song. Oh, I used to love her, but it's all over now. And he played the lead guitar, and Jeff was playing guitar with him and stuff, and I was singing background vocals.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. Another 70s band that I know basically nothing about. But they had a song called Heartbeat. It's a love
Oh,
beat.
the DeFranco
The
family.
DeFranco family. I
Because I
think.
remember that was like you had all these families that were singing songs back
Yes, yes,
in the early and mid 70s,
yes. That would be mid
the
'70s.
like the Jackson 5 and
Yeah,
the Osmonds, and
yeah,
there were all these family groups,
yeah.
and the DeFranco family. Oh my gosh. I used to love that
Yeah,
song. I was like,
yeah. I like that song too, the DeFranco family. The '70s. In the morning light, feels so good by me. Make me do anything you
oh my
want.
gosh. I'm trying to remember.
The name of that band. Is there anybody out there that remembers the name of that band? Um, A Foot in Cold Water.
Is that the name of the band?
Yes, I saw the Foot in Cold Water at Gage Park.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I
during
I
one of
know
those
the
things,
song, but I'm like,
Bill Powell, the guy that not the mayor, but his son, who's unfortunately passed away, the artist, he put on a show with them. at
Mhm,
Gage Park. He also put on Long John Baldry at Gage Park, and Baldry had. I wish I remembered the name of the guitar player he had. He had a guitar player playing slide that hung out with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. And this guitar player, I never even seen the guy because I was so far back in the audience. But
mhm.
you could hear how great this guy was, and you could tell why he was like a rock star's rock star that nobody knew because he was always a behind the scene guy. So I never seen him, but oh wow, was he great?
and Channel 3.
70s,
Channel 3.
China 3,
Channel 3. Channel?
Channel 3.
That was a band.
I didn't know them.
I don't remember what they played,
What song?
but they did have an album out.
Yeah,
Oh, Terry Jacks.
Jerry Jacks, yes. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. And he also did a Buddy Holly cover. You're gonna say you'll miss me. You're gonna say you'll kiss me. You're gonna say you'll love me, and I'm gonna love you too.
Hmm.
He did that cover. I had that 45. I didn't have the other one.
Where was Helen Reddy from?
Oh, she was American. She played a nun. She played a nun on airport, not airplane, but airport.
Mm.
And there was all sorts of strange, silly actors on there like Sid Caesar. Oh God, big actors of the time whose career was downsizing. But it was a great movie. Charlton Heston was good in it. I like the way he'd call stewardesses baby. It
Mhm.
was one of those movies that you look at and you say, "Wow, those were fun times," because you'd never have that again. You'd never have that kind of stuff again. Or when he says to a steward, said something to a stewardess like, "I'd like to see how you scramble eggs in the morning," as she was leaving. And that's Charlton Heston. That's Moses. That's
Trying to remember. Okay, so I remember Terry Jacks because I really, really like that
yes.
song. Um, what's it called again?
Seasons in the Sun.
Seasons in the Sun. That was so popular, and I don't think he ever had another popular song.
The thing about Terry Jacks is him and Susan Jacks had a band called the Poppy Family. And the song Where Evil Grows has such a great, great pair of vocals singing in harmony. They sound very eerie. And I always thought that Alice Cooper or Marilyn Manson should have covered that song because it was so eerie. And when you think about it, you can't even think of Terry Jacks and you can't even think of Susan Jacks.
Mm,
That one single that they did, Where Evil Grows,
wow.
it is, you wouldn't recognize their voices. The writing is totally different. It would be like they took Marilyn Manson from 50 years later and asked him to write a song and send it 50 years back.
Oh, wow.
It's that eerie.
That is really.
Yeah. I never learned how to play it. I wish I could. It sounds like it was done in some open tuning. But whoever put that song together, whoever suggested the vocal harmony was a genius.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a reaction to that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so.
Because I don't think anybody would, you wouldn't know it was Terry and Susan Jacks.
No,
Not at
no.
all, not even the slightest. The harmony was way out from what they ever did. The vocal lines were nowhere near anything they ever did, and the music was just so whacked out from what you're used to. Didn't Susan Jacks do "Which Way You Going, Billy? Can I go too?"
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know. But you know what? I I think I think we should wind it up and maybe we'll join you tomorrow
Or
for a
one of
bit.
these days, keep an eye on it.
Yes.
The better we get, the less we hesitate between talks. Oh, look at that cute chin. Look at the chin.
Oh, leave my chin alone.
I love your cute little chin. Anyways, see, I told you. Look at the cute little chin.
Oh, leave my no chin alone.
Okay, I will.
Okay. So join us again.
Good night. This
Till
is
next time.
Mickey and Pamela, the sadist.
Yes. And don't forget to subscribe,
Subscribe,
s-
say like, and make comments. And
click
see
the
what you'd
bell,
like to talk us and see what you'd want us to talk about.
or
You
what
just
we'd
want
like
to look at us, maybe.
to. You're funny. Till next time.
Mm.
Mwah.